Welcome back. I want to talk a little bit to you about the idea of planning and how planning affects your motivation over time. Because obviously, if you do some major renos and you do the energy audit first, how long a buyer or a homeowner will stay inside a home definitely affects the return on that investment in terms of replacing windows and so on. So what can you tell us about that?
Sure. Well, there's quite a few things to talk about there. One of the key things, one of the first things I always tell people, which I think is pretty exciting, is I did a little bit of digging on the website for the Real Estate Appraisal Institute of Canada. And what I learned is they rank energy retrofits of any kind as the second best paying back form of home renovation you can do. What that means is their data shows statistically for any energy related update you make to your house, you should expect to get 50 to 75% back of whatever you spent when the time comes to sell the house, assuming that upgrade is still in place and functioning. So that's really good news. I find a lot of people don't really consider that when they're looking at the upfront expense of doing the upgrade. You got to realize you're adding value to your house and you're going to get a chunk of that back.
So it's not all about the granite countertops in your kitchen. I mean, we all want the beautiful ensuite and the master and the walk-in closets and a brand new kitchen. But I guess looking at also how the house performs over time, will have some impact on the resale value of the property, because especially now in this market, buyers are looking much more closely at their monthly bills. If they're looking at their mortgage, how much they pay per month, they want to know how the house performs. So I can see how that could be a very valuable investment in investing in the efficiency of the home.
Well, absolutely. The other really great thing about energy retrofits of any kind is the only kind of home renovation you can do that the day you finish putting it in starts paying you back every month in the form of energy savings. Granite countertops have a value. I love them too, but I don't get money in my pocket back every single month from having granite countertops in my home, whereas putting in a heat pump or improving the insulation or the air tightness of the home reduces my operating costs of the home. So it's a really important thing to consider, especially if you're getting close to your retirement years and you're planning to stay in that home. While you're still earning money, most people are looking at a reduction in income when they reach retirement.
Right.
And if that's your own personal situation, you really ought to consider spending some money now while you're earning it to get that house into a more energy efficient state so your monthly operating expenses of the house go down.
So you control your monthly budget.
It's almost like an investment in your retirement, because it's going to free up some of your cash once you're retired to do more fun things like travel.
Yeah. So if you're a buyer, let's say two different examples here. One that is looking to purchase a house and live in it maybe for a couple of years, eventually the idea of improving it and reselling it, versus somebody who wants to find their dream house. They want to raise their kids there for 10, 15 years. Obviously, they're looking at different pictures entirely. How does that work with the return on investment?
Right, well, absolutely. Those are very different perspectives. Just to pick a couple of examples, a solar water heating system is a really great investment in a house. They have typically a 25-year lifespan, and it cuts the water heating expenses in the house by 50 to 60%. So that's a great thing, but it's a significant upfront cost. If you're going to be flipping the house in 2 or 3 years, it's going to be a little harder to justify that upfront cost. Even though you're going to get a chunk of it back, you won't have enjoyed the energy savings long enough for the whole thing to make a lot of sense on a financial level. But on the other hand, the other example you gave, you're buying your dream home, you're going to stay put for 25 years. You should put that system in now. If you're going to be raising your kids in that home, teenagers tend to take 3 showers a day, half an hour apiece, and you want that system in before you go through that whole scene. So yeah, there are different things to consider, and that is all part of what I take into account when I do an energy evaluation. I'm not only looking at the house, I'm talking to the homeowner. I want to understand how they live in the house, how long they're going to keep the house, what their priorities are, whether they've got any comfort issues in the house, and so on. And all of that factors into the recommendations I make. So it's a very personalized service that is really focused on the house and the homeowner and their lifestyle in it.
So again, when you are considering doing those investments on your property, talk to your specialist, talk to somebody like Doug, and he will basically get you through the steps of, what are your plans for the house? How long you planning to spend time in the house? Is it your final dream house, or is it something that is more a temporary one? So get the experts to give you the best expertise.